Welcome to today's video where I'll be showcasing my editing process, giving you insight on how to edit more efficiently. As we all know, editing can be time consuming and occasionally frustrating tasks. Just like anything else, when I started, I wasn't as efficient. But over time, I picked up tricks that can save you valuable time. But before we dive into these tricks, keep in mind that editing style may vary based on the type of video being edited. Despite this, the techniques that I'll be showcasing are universally applicable in my opinion. So let's explore them together. Number one, adjustment clip. So I've made a video about adjustment clip in the past, so you could click right here. Number two, cutting techniques. Number three, zooming in and out of the editing timeline. Number four, utilizing ripple delete. Number five, customizing shortcuts. These are the key elements that contribute to my efficient editing process. So let's get started and elevate your editing game. Let's begin with adjustment clip. Okay, so let's head over to the computer. Now we are going to start with adjustment clip, and to get adjustment clip, simply select effects, also effects on the left side, also effects, and drag adjustment clip from this position to the timeline on top of the video that you are trying to adjust. So this time around, what I'm trying to do in this clip is to zoom into the left side. Let's say I want to showcase something on the left side. For example, in this clip, let's say I'm trying to showcase the nodes on the left side. Okay, so I want to zoom in to make it more clearer that this is what I'm talking about. I could do that by using adjustment clip, and also I'm going to zoom back out to the original position as well, for a reason that I will explain later as we go on. So the reason why I want to do that in adjustment clip is because after doing it, we could use the same adjustment clip and copy that adjustment clip and move it over to the next scene and do the same movement in case whatever I'm trying to explain is also in the right spot. First of all, let me demonstrate what I'm trying to do so you guys can understand. So first of all, I want to make sure that this time indicator is in the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, by the way, you don't have to be too perfect because DaVince is going to know exactly what you're trying to do. All right, so put it in the beginning. Then we're going to start animation. Then we're going to go a little forward. Then we are going to go to the position of where we are trying to demonstrate. Okay, so we're going to zoom in a little bit. Then we are going to go to the left side. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to showcase this node so it becomes a bit more visible to the audience. Okay, so boom, if I play it, as you can see, it's going to zoom in. So what I want to do, let me mute my music. So what I want to do as well is to zoom right back to the original position. Okay, so I'm going to do another animation from here, let's say. Okay, from here, and start another animation and go over to the end and put it back to the original position. So it is 1, and I'm just simply going to hit 0 here because that's where it was, and they both go back to the original position. So this clip, this adjustment clip, when I play it, boom. Remember, whatever is happening to this adjustment clip is going to happen to everything below it. So you have to keep that in mind at all times. Every clip below it is being affected by this adjustment clip. It goes back to the original position. Well, I did that for a reason. So that's one. Okay, so I'm going to do multiple adjustment clip because you might also want to go to the right side and explain something on the right side. So I'm going to bring down another adjustment clip and I'm going to increase the size to your desired size. Okay, so increasing the size meaning you are increasing the length of the time. Okay, so this time around, I'm going to do the opposite by going to the right side from the beginning. So what I'm going to do is, again, start animation, go in just a little bit, and I'm going to zoom in. You might want to try to maintain the same zoom if you want to, but it's not necessary. Just depend on what you are trying to do. Maybe you want to talk about something on the inspector on this side, and at the end you also want to do the same thing, zoom back out to the middle. So we start another animation, go to the end, and again put this back at 1 since that's the original, and do the same with this. It's easier to just type in 0 instead of trying to find 0, which you can, but why waste your time? You could just double click and type in 0 and hit enter or return. So now you are back to your original point. So if you play this, goes to the right, let's wait till it goes to the end, and it goes back again to the original point. So this goes to the right. So let's, again, you always want to make sure you could tell the difference between both clips. So I'm going to change the color just to make sure I know the difference between the left and the right. So I'm going to change this to orange. So now you know that the orange one is going to the right and the blue one is going to the left. Now you have a distinction between both of them. So let's say this point, let's say talk about something on the right hand side. You could do the same thing by just copying this. You could copy by Command C or Control C, or you could use Alt or Options. Hold that Alt or Options and drag this, and it's going to make a copy. So and put it back to this position. So now if I play this area, it's still going to go to the right side. Okay, now I've saved time by not actually doing this again and go back to the middle. This is why it's important to go back to the middle, because let's say at this point you want to go from the right hand side to the left hand side. Okay, you don't need to do any other thing other than just copying this. We'll do the same method, copying this and just go hit it at this point. Let's say just there's no space in between, just want to go from right to left. Okay, that's going to save you a little time as well, because you went back to the original position. At the end of this orange clip is going to go back to the original clip, and this one is going to take it to the left side. Okay, so if you like that motion, that works. Okay, or you might want to change the speed or whatever you're trying to change. Okay, that's up to you. That's another way you could use adjustment clip to save you time. This is just one of the ways. Remember, adjustment clip is like a whole universe. You could use it for a lot of things. Okay, that's an example of adjustment clip. Okay, now we've dealt with number 1, so let's go to number 2, cutting techniques. Okay, so I'm going to use another adjustment clip for this demonstration. Let's go to a different area. So I'm going to bring this and I'm going to extend this so that we could see more properly. Let's take this out so we could make it even larger. Okay, so this is a new adjustment clip. Now remember, in editing you're gonna have to use cut a lot. Okay, or not, but I'm guessing most people do use a lot of cuts. Okay, so as you can see in my video, there's a lot of cuts here and there. So what you could do now is select the blade. If you select the blade, wherever you click is what cuts. So if you click right here, boom, I've created a cut, I've created a cut, I've created a cut. Okay, so that's cool. All right, but the thing is, every time you click this and you create a cut, you're gonna have to come back to select the selection mode indicator. Okay, so that's cool, but that's always gonna take just a little bit of a time to do those two transactions between selecting the blade cut and going back to select the selection mode indicator. So what you're gonna do, Control C to undo what I just did. So instead, what you could do is simply take this indicator to the place you want to cut and just hit Control or Command B. Okay, so that way you don't always have to go back to select the selection mode. Okay, so that way you should have your selection mode where you could just select anything and you still did the cutting without having to change the mode as well. Okay, so this way you're working faster and more efficient. Okay, and you're saving just a little bit of a time. Imagine it being a long editing video, maybe 30-minute video or an hour video. That's going to save you a lot of time, and those little seconds do add up when you are editing a longer video. If you're editing a shorter video, you still want to save time as much as possible because you want to go do other things that you want to do. All right, so that's going to save you time. So simply Command B if you're in MacBook and Control B if you are in PC laptop. Okay, so that's a little tip from the cutting technique. So let's go to the number 3, which is zooming in and out of adjustment clip. Okay, you've seen me actually zoom in and out of adjustment clip, but how do I do it? All right, so first we are going to go over here and we are going to explain these 3. Well, instead of explaining, let's demonstrate. So right now I'm in custom zoom. Okay, but we have three options here. We could go to full extend zoom, so this way you could see all your work from the beginning to end. Okay, so this is cool, but if you want to do precise editing, this isn't going to help as much. This is good to just view your entire work so you know how your work is looking. Okay, so that's fine. So the next one is detail zoom, which is good as well. You could actually edit much more precisely with this, but again, sometimes this might be too zoomed in and maybe you don't want that. You might want just a little bit zoomed out so you could see more areas that you want to edit. Okay, so this is where you go to custom zoom, which is the only thing I use. So this is where you zooming in and out comes to play. So zooming in and out is simple. You could go here. We have the plus minus. You could click the plus to zoom in and out, or you could click the minus to zoom out, plus to zoom in, minus to zoom out, or you could drag this back and forth, which is all fine and they all work perfectly. But to me, what I found easier is my shortcut, which is holding the Alt or Option. If you have a mouse, you could scroll up to zoom out, down to zoom in. To me, I found that to be much more efficient because my hand is always on the mouse. My hand does the mouse. My hand is on the mouse at all time, and I could just scroll in and out quick and fast, and just use the other hand and hold the Option. Just scroll in, scroll out. So that's number 3. Now, number 4, ripple delete. Ripple delete to me was a game changer once I found out about ripple delete, because prior, when I didn't know about ripple delete, editing was just more tedious. Ripple delete made it more efficient. That's like damn near 10 times faster with ripple delete. So if you do not use any other method that I'm showing you, make sure to use ripple delete, because that's going to save you a lot more time. Let me show you what I mean. Let's go back. All right, so normally, let's say you want to cut out a part from this clip. Hold on, let me bring out another adjustment clip just to show you guys what I'm doing, just to make the visuals more understandable. Okay. All right, so let's say, forget about the top part just to make you understand what I'm trying to do. All right, so this part I selected, this is where you should pay attention to. So if you want to cut off something from your clip, how do you do it? Simply cut, okay, Control B, like we've learned, boom. And you go to the next, the place that you want to cut off. Again, do something, Control B, and you've cut this part. So you want to delete it, right? So you select that part that you want to delete and you hit delete. Okay. Now on PC, if you hit backspace, I believe it's going to ripple delete actually if you hit backspace when you cut those two. Okay, which is fine. Okay, which is one step faster than regular cut. But with this step, what you're gonna do now is simple. When you cut it, you click this part and you join them back together. So look at all the things that I have to do: cut, empty space, close them together, and then you have to drag everything and push them together. Those are like 3 steps just to delete something. All right, so let's go back again. 3, boom. All right, so that's the normal way of cutting and deleting, which to me is gonna take too much time. Imagine all these cuts that I have in my track right here. Imagine doing that. That's just gonna take ages. All right, so what can you do to make it faster? Ripple delete. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna select where I wanna start by using Control B to cut. Now I'm going to select where I'm trying to cut it from this angle. Let's say I'm trying to cut from this to this. So what I could do here is hit Command, Shift, and open brackets. So what will happen now is it cut the video and push the clips together at the same time. Without you have to cut 2 places, then remove the empty areas. So it did 3 things at once. The other end was cut and the space was removed at the same time without you having to remove the space. Okay, so Control Z. Also, you could do the same thing on the other side, but now you have to use the closing bracket. Okay, so Command, Shift, close bracket. That's when you want to cut to the left from the point that you cut. When you want to delete from the left side, that's where you use Command, Shift, and the square bracket. By the way, that's how you use the ripple delete. That's going to save you a lot of time. Also, another thing as well is, well, the reason why it's cutting everything below is because it's adjustment clip. As you can see, it's not cutting anything above. If you use another clip, it wouldn't cut everything from the bottom. Okay, if it was another clip that is not adjustment clip, it will not cut anything below. So keep that in mind. All right, so another way to use start playhead is here is already DaVince Resolve sees this as cut anyway, because even though there's nothing cut, it's just the beginning of the clip. All right, so if you put this playhead here and you do the same thing, Command, Shift, open bracket, is going to cut from the beginning to that point. You could do the same thing at the end, so like this. Okay, Command, Shift, and close bracket. That way it's going to delete everything from the end to the point of the place you have your playhead or indicator. Okay, so by the way, let me mention this again. The reason why the clips below are being deleted as well is because this is an adjustment clip. So anything that happens to this clip happens to the rest of the clip below it. That's why that's happening. But if it was any other clip and you just select that clip, it wouldn't delete nothing below. It would just delete that clip that's selected. But if you do not select anything and you do the same thing, now it's going to delete everything on the track. So right now, if I do Command, Shift, and open bracket, it's going to delete everything. Okay, because I don't have anything selected. All right, but if I select anything else, it's going to only delete that clip. But again, remember, adjustment clip is different because adjustment clip is indicating that you should affect everything below that adjustment clip. So that's why everything is being affected. Okay, so I believe at least you could use ripple delete, as I call it, but I think it's called start playhead officially. So that's ripple delete. Now let's go to the last one, which is customizing shortcuts. This way we're going to combine every other method into one. What do you mean? Let me show you. So what that means is we are going to go to DaVinci and we are going to customize the keyboards. So we are going to go to DaVinci Resolve on the left side, I believe. On the left side, on the top left side, you're going to see DaVinci Resolve. Click DaVinci Resolve, click keyboard customization. So go to keyboard customization and this is how it looks like. So as you can see on the right tab, this is DaVince Resolve 1 editor. That's my own customization. Okay, so let's go here. So when you start, you are going to have DaVince Resolve. That's going to be how DaVince Resolve has it. Okay, you know what? I'm going to recreate what I did so that way you guys learn at the same time. So I'm going to go to DaVince Resolve and I'm going to recreate what I have already, and I'm going to name it something different. So the first thing that I'm going to change, right, because I use this often, is the blade, the cut, which is the command Z. So this is where we find cut. Okay, so you could type in cut and you're gonna have it. Okay, this is command. Okay, so this is why I don't actually search anything here, because you could easily change the wrong thing. Okay, so you could easily change the wrong thing. Even if you type in cut, there are several cuts, you don't know which one. Okay, unless you are sure, then you could use this. Okay, there are several cuts. That's the problem. So to avoid that problem, what you could do is, since you know the short key already, you should find out the short keys, so that way you could just look for the short keys and change that one specifically, so you do not go and change something else. All right, so make sure to look for the short keys that you are trying to change, and you could write them down and change them. All right, so what I'll do is, okay, you're gonna come here to the board where you have the keys and select Command B. Then it comes out down here on the left side. It comes out on the left side. It shows you Razor Previous. So that's the official name. That's why I say sometimes the official names are different. Okay, so you don't have time to try, so it's better to know those commands. So you hit Command B. Now the function comes out on the left side. So you select the functions, Command B, boom, and it's selected on the right hand side. Okay, so what you could do, you could X out the Command B if you like, but what I like to do is I'm just going to add, you could add your key here, 1, boom. But then that's a problem with that. All right, so you don't know if that's a short key for another thing already. So we have to go back. Okay, or you could start by, since you know you want to use 1, you click 1. So now, as you can see, when you click 1, it has 2 things using it. The one that you just put in, and it also has cut to angle 1. But you do not want to have that doing 2 things at once, because you don't want to mess up your work when you're doing it, or actually it might not even work. I'm not sure. So what you want to do is select cut to angle and make sure to delete that one. Okay, so you could replace it with something else if you want to. So this is a multicam cut. Now, right now, I don't use multicam cut. So I'm going to take 1 out, multicam cut. But if you do use multicam cut, you could find another key that you don't use that often. Okay, boom, that's that. Okay, so that's gone. All right, well, you don't want to just save, then you want to do everything first before you save. So that's 1. Now I'm going to go to 2 because I want to use 2 for something else. So I'm going to, since I'm already here, I'm going to take out 2. And I'm going to take out 3 because I know I'm going to use 2 and 3 for something else. So I've taken out the things that I'm going to use, which is 1, 2, 3. So you want to first look for what their function are. So now they are empty. So if I go to 4, see 4 has a function, 5 has a function, 6 has a function, 7, 8, 9. 0 has none. So you could also use 0 because 0 has none. But 0 is too far to the right. I don't like to use 0. It's too far. I want 1, 2, 3. Now 2 and 3 is empty. That's what I want to use for my next short key. So what I want to do now, my next short key is Command, Shift, and open bracket. So as you can see, it's called Start to Playhead. Like I said, sometimes the official name is different. All right, so you know the command already, so you just select the command. You have to click the command first, click Shift second, and click open bracket third. Now you can see what you want. Now you can select it from here. And when you select it from here, it also comes up on the right hand side, so that way you don't have to search for it. Just click on this side and it comes out here. So in my case, I don't want to delete the original function because there's no need. I'm not going to use that function anyway for any other thing. This is where I'm going to put 2. Okay, so I'm just going to click there and type in 2. Since we also have the other part as well, and to playhead, which is Command Shift close bracket. We have it right here. But to be sure, you want to just select Command Shift close brackets. Okay, which is right here. And it tells you end to playhead. You can see that here as well, end to playhead. So if you select it, it's just gonna go to the top. Okay, but you already see it. You could have easily just changed it right here to save you more time. So select that box and type in 3, and that's it. You have changed the 1, 2, 3 shortkeys to your favorite function. So that way they're all together. Cut, ripple delete from the right side, ripple delete from the left side. They're all together, and you're using one key for those functions. Instead of hitting Command Shift, then you want to use the other hand to press open bracket. You now have one key for those functions. Trust me, when you do it, your work is going to be much faster. Yeah, and you just hit save, and you could put the name that you want. Let me put faster editor. Okay, faster editor. Okay, boom, and now you have faster editor selected, and you close. So now I could go and do the same thing I've been doing. Boom. Let me see if it works. If I hit 3, boom. Okay, Control Z, 2, boom, Control Z, and that's that. So we have gone through adjustment clip, cutting technique, zooming in and out of editing timeline, utilizing ripple delete, and customizing shortcut. I believe this can help you edit much faster. If you like this video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification button, and I will catch you on the next video.